Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blood. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, and today we are joined by author and entrepreneur Neil Cohen. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, man.
Absolutely. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Absolutely. So I reached out to you guys. I checked out your website and I said, man, this is someone I got to talk to. So just a little bit of background on me. I've written 3 fiction novels and zombie apocalypse novels. And I know the zombie genre is not something many people have touched on. It's very, very rare that you ever see any kind of medium on the zombies. But I actually really, you know, listen, there's no original ideas here. So, no, but I really was a fan of the genre, and I saw a area of the genre that just was not being hit. I had my own ideas, and I said, you know, I got to get this out. So I'm actually coming to you today from Small Press Expo, and you guys have been amazingly patient as I tried to find a quiet room to actually do this call, because Small Press Expo here, it's actually in Bethesda, Maryland, is a once-a-year event, and it is just packed. I could not find a single quiet space in this entire hotel, but so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. But Small Press Expo is the exact type of audience that I started with, and that I'm trying to reach out to now. Where I came at it is I never wrote a book. I never even wanted to read a friggin' book. So, but I had this idea about my take on the zombie apocalypse, how I thought it would happen, how I thought people would react. And I wanted a more realistic zombie book, but I wanted it fun and funny so people would read it. And so I actually wrote my ideas. I went to the publishers. They told me, screw off. So I said, fuck it. I went out. I found my own illustrator. I created a graphic novel, really an illustrated novel, because it was book and illustrations. And I came to places like this, like Small Press Expo, and I started marketing it and promoting it and building a brand and building a following. And from that, I got a publisher. The publisher led to me re-releasing the book in a much more professional format. Then that hit. They said, I want 2 more, wrote 2 more, finished that genre, finished that. The last book actually came out in 2018. That closed out the trilogy, the Exit Zero Zombie trilogy. And I thought I was done. At that point, I'm like, I'm done. I proved my point. I wrote the book. I got them published. I built a following. I really didn't know where to go next. And then while I'm out there, and I'm still out there selling the books and hitting up the cons and meeting people and learning their stories and just talking to people about, like, you know, how'd you come to this con? You know, here, you're baking baked goods shaped like XYZ fan, or you're painting pictures of the Joker and Harley Quinn, or you're a big fan of Game of Thrones and you're dressing up and you're doing podcasts. Why? And I met so many cool people with these interesting stories about, like, they have these full-time professional day jobs, and then, like, superheroes at night and on weekends, they're doing these fucked up things that, like, they're actually afraid to even share with their friends, their coworkers, their clients. They've got these whole secret identities involved in pop culture. And I was like, this is a whole kind of entrepreneurial track that no one's ever really touched into. These people that are obsessed with a pop culture, whether it's, like I said, Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead. And they started this business not to become wealthy, but because they're obsessed. They want to talk to other people. They want to share their fandom, their passion. And it's a different type of entrepreneurship. And then I wrote the book and started speaking at cons, and it's coming out October 1st in 2 weeks. It's called, This Is It, Business is Dead, Resurrecting Entrepreneurship. And it's all about people like yourself, fans who have started fan-focused businesses.
That's fantastic. If I could
choose
an appropriate word, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, I mean, it is, a relatively new market, especially cosplay is just blown out crazy right now. I mean, there's people on Instagram that make a living off of cosplay alone, right. And that's fantastic. Yep. I mean, it gives people a job that they love to do, it's like a thing that's like, just like, it's been accepted, you should hate your job, it's work, blah, blah, blah. I feel like in America, especially, but like things like that are just so interesting because it's a new outlet for people.
These passion projects. Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing I stressed in the beginning of the book, I say, look, if this is something you're going to pursue because you say, I fucking hate my job, I want to quit my job, quit my life, become rich, no, not why you pursue this. Don't pursue this. This is not, go open a Subway franchise if that's what you want to do. This is not for, I got to change my life and I hate my boss and I hate my job and I want to change. No, this is for fun, for passion, for something to do on the weekends. Maybe you'll make money. Maybe you'll make a lot of money, but there's no guarantee. And I don't stress any guarantee. And if you're going in for this, for anything, for profit over passion, it's not the track for you. This is, like you said, cosplayers. Some people just love getting dressed up and pretending to be a celebrity for a weekend and going to a con and posing for pictures and having a lot of fun. And that's great. And then going back Monday and being happy in your regular life. Other people can't let it go. Other people like, man, that weekend was like what I lived for. And I want to make a go at this. And then they can start Instagram or they can start whatever, building a fan base around a cosplay character that they've created. They're not going to be able to do it if they are just doing, I'm dressing up as, I went to the store, I dressed up as Batman and now I go show up as Batman. That's not going to do it. But I've met a lot who've created their own characters, their own unique characters with a backstory, some of them, and they create their own following, or they create a number of cosplays where they look like a number of things, and then people are following them just because they're like, I got to see what the hell this guy's doing next, or this girl's doing next. This is cool. They're both Mary Poppins and Deadpool, or they're a smoking hot chick, and they are just creating the most outrageous, sexy cosplay outfits. And I want to subscribe just to see what the hell they're going to do next weekend.
That's the biggest one.
That's originality. It is, and that's how you break through. So and then there's other people that are doing it that are like philanthropic. Like I've met a lot of people that have built these amazing Star Wars outfits. Like they look like the stormtroopers, they got the voice, they got everything, and they're not in it for the money. They're going out and doing charity events, and they're raising money, and they're going to hospitals, and they're taking pictures to raise money for kids, and they have whole groups of them. It's like what is it? I forgot what it's called now, but they're like Legion 501 or something, and they're all stormtroopers, and they show up at children's hospitals, and that's awesome. Great too. Yeah, and it's original, and they're fantrepreneurs also, but they're doing it as a philanthropic venture. They're not looking to make money. They're looking to just be involved and raise money for charities and to help sick kids and everything.
Yeah,
that reminds me.
Same track, yeah.
Back in the day, there was a viral video of the Batman getting pulled over in like the 1980s Batman or Batmobile. And that guy was one of the originals that would go to children's hospitals dressed up as Batman. He would park the Batmobile out front so they could see it from the windows and like would come up and like spend time with the kids. So there was like a big backstory to that guy.
There was a fascinating story. He
was an attorney, I think, right?
He was a guy, I can't remember what he did. There was a couple people did it, but there was a guy actually down here in Maryland. And the guy was super rich and he loved Batman, and he had the whole Batman outfit, and he had actually the 1966 Batmobile.
Oh wow.
The guy, he had realized, he came to a point in his life where he realized he had not been a good person, and he admitted it. Like, he achieved his success definitely, and he knew that he had treated a lot of people badly, and he had been not the best person in his life. And he said, I got to fucking change this around. I got to turn this around. And he didn't. And so he started dressing up as Batman and going to the kids' hospitals. And then he did that. And literally for him, it was like a psychic thing. He had to change his whole life trajectory, because he realized that, like, he just came to this conclusion, like, I'm not a good person. And it was an amazing story. And then, do you know what happened to that guy? Did you hear the story?
He's passed away, I believe, right?
He was driving. He pulled over to help someone that he was out of outfit. He had thrown his outfit in the car. He stopped to get gas. Someone took a picture of him filling up for gas. He waved. He was driving. Someone had broken down. He pulled over to help the person, got out of his car, and someone hit him on the highway and killed him.
Yep.
Is that fucking karma or what?
That's dangerous. That's like one of the top ways I hear good people going, unfortunately, is, you know, helping someone out.
But isn't that like a weird story that this guy, like, said, I got to change, like, my life story here of where I'm going and who I'm looked at as, and then that happened. That's fucked up, you know. But it's amazing. But it definitely comes into, and I just feel like I've totally brought down your podcast. I just totally bummed out the entire fucking audience.
I have a way to change the trajectory. You've used the word fantrepreneur a couple of times. Can you give like a definition of what you would say that is? Because it seems, at least from what we've been talking about so far, that it's a broad definition, because it's anything from people doing Instagram cosplay type stuff to authors to artists to, like, so how would you define the word fantrepreneur?
Exactly. Well, it comes down to what I was saying in the beginning. If you're an entrepreneur, you're starting a business, you're looking to grow the business. And hey, listen, if you've invented shoe shine and you're passionate about shine shoes, and you're an entrepreneur because you're passionate and you're doing it to become a millionaire, that's great. But you're not really a fantrepreneur. Fantrepreneur, you're a fan of a pop culture genre. Like for me, I was a fan of the zombie culture, the zombie genre. So I wrote my books because I wanted to be part of that. Now, I can go to cons on the weekends and talk about zombie lore, the zombie movies, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. I can talk to people all day about that shit because I love it. It's my fandom. I also can talk about Game of Thrones. I loved Game of Thrones theories, concepts. Before that, I think my first real fandom where I became obsessed, where I wanted to talk to other people about it, was the first couple seasons of Lost. I like a lot of shows. I watch a lot of TV. I love Family Guy and everything, but generally I would watch the show, enjoy it, it's done. I didn't give a shit about talking to other people. Lost, like the way they did it in the beginning with the corresponding websites, and there was a one for the airline, and if you went through it and you clicked the seats in the right order, you got through to another level. And then there was all these, they didn't even tell fans about it. You had to find it online. They were the first one to really get into, and I was obsessed. I wanted to talk to other people about this show and my theory and everything. And that was my first, becoming a real fan and wanting to engage. And that's what it's all about. You know, if you are into DC or Marvel or Game of Thrones or what's the other one there? Oh God, I can't think of the name. It's with the two guys in the car. I forgot the name of it, but everybody's obsessed with it right now.
Supernatural.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was
Supernatural. That's it.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've met so many people that are obsessed with it. Now I'm going to Sopranos Con in November, and that's for people that are fans of the show Sopranos. Sopranos has been off the air for 10 fucking years. Right? Yeah, but it's been off the air. Yeah, but they're having the very first Sopranos Con, so I'm going to it. I'm exhibiting at it, because I'm a fan. But that's what a fantrepreneur is. A fantrepreneur says, you know what, I want to do this because I want to be around other people that are fans like me. If I go and spend a weekend at a con and I don't make any sales, but I talk to a whole bunch of people, I still consider it, I had a good, enjoyable weekend versus, oh man, it sucked. I didn't sell anything. I didn't make any money. No, if I go to a con and I talk to fans, and I always tell people in fantrepreneurship, like where it really came from. So I'm out there selling my books before this one, the Exit Zero trilogy. People come up to me and go, Neil, I've been working on a book for 7 years, and I want to write, how the hell did you get it published? How the hell did you get from attending cons to behind the booth? How did you go and get on, this podcast here? And I would be advising, and that's kind of what my background is. I got an MBA. I've got 30 years in business development experience. I would advise these people, and I said, shit, let me just write this down. Let me give some advice here. And there's so many people, and like, especially the people that would tell me I'm working on a book for 7 years.
That's a long time.
Well, yeah, I didn't. Now, granted, when I started writing my book, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And it was trial and error. And I had a bunch of stories, and I didn't take any writing classes. I had no intention of writing a book. I just wanted to write a series of short stories, and then it started coming together and all this kind of stuff. But it took me almost 3 years from start to it's on the bookshelf. But that was long, and I didn't really know what. But the thing is, I didn't even start really selling my first book until my third book was out. Oh, wow. So I'm telling people, if it's taking you 7 years, it's gonna be 21 fucking years before you start selling your book, man. Get it out there. You gotta just publish it. If you can't find a publisher, it's a different world now. Go out, go to Amazon, self-publish, self-market, self-promote. If you think that you're just going to, I'm going to get a publisher and then I'm going to sit on my ass and they're going to go out and promote my book. Bullshit. They're not. They're going to promote it a little bit when it releases, and then 2 weeks later, they're moving on to the next book. And that book comes out, and you're forgotten. You better be out there producing, promoting, selling. If you think, I'm just going to produce, write it, and then sit in my room and write it again and wait for it. No. Constantly, nonstop. Your friends, your friends' friends, your coworkers, social media. You got to be out there promoting it all the time. Otherwise, forget it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. But that's a fantrepreneurship, and you better have that goddamn passion. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it. If you said, you know what, I hate zombies, but I got this great idea and I wrote a zombie book. Now I'm going to go out and sell it. But Jesus Christ, oh my God, I got to go fucking spend a weekend at a con.
Not
other
for
zombie people. No. Don't do it, man, because you're going to be fucking miserable, and you're never going to sell shit, and the fans are going to tell it, and that's it. So that's a fantrepreneur versus an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, you're out there making money. You're out there hustling, making money, start your business, and the goal is, what's the goal? Sell that business, start another one, move on, grow that business.
The Shark Tank model.
Exactly. And this is not something you're looking to sell and move on. This is something I'm going to do this for, if it's fun, it's fun. If it's profit, great.
Hi, do you like celebrities, comedy, and pop culture? Well, then I have the podcast for you. I'm Aaron Max, host of the Yes and I Am podcast, the podcast where we learn about people. Each week, we take comedians and improvisers and give them a celebrity to play, and I interview them. And guess what? Sometimes the comedians don't know who this celebrity is. And that's when the real fun comes in, and we learn a little something we didn't already know about these people. So go and check us out. We're on iTunes and all other podcast sources. We are Yes and I Am, and we will see you guys next time.
Support for American Slacker comes from Manscaped, who's the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
I don't know about you, Jesse, but I am sick and tired of being outmatched by these razors and traditional trimmers that you get in the store, and no matter what, they fucking snag your nuts.
That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. They have a Lawnmower 2.0 razor, which they have sent our way, has a proprietary skin-safe technology, so you won't get those nicks or snags on your nuts.
Nice! Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past.
Yeah, and with our 20% off code plus free shipping, you're going to be saving a bunch of money and getting some great products that won't end up making it look like a war zone down there.
All you got to do is enter Slackers at checkout. Manscaped.com. 20% off. Get your anti-chafing ball deodorant, your sweet lawnmower 2.0. Your nuts will thank you later.
You can even rep them by getting yourself a manscaped.com t-shirt. So head on over to manscaped.com, 20% off at checkout, enter code SLACKERS.
Get your ball swag here.
Do you see a lot of that burnout kind of in podcasting too? If people, they'll start a show thinking they're going to be Joe Rogan or Mark Maron, and then they get 6 months into it and 30 hours of editing later, and they're like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah. And they're not doing it because they enjoy doing it. That's a big problem. You know, if you don't enjoy it, it translates really well because we look forward to our fucking shows every week. And I think that's like what gives us a passion to write more, to like come up with new ideas.
Yeah. And try to keep it entertaining because we're not bored, so the audience isn't bored.
But you guys are making $100,000 a year each at this, right?
Well, that's under, but I mean, we don't have to talk about the numbers here.
How do you think we bought the franchise of Applebee's that we're recording in?
I know. And the lava lamps, they don't come cheap.
Seriously.
But the point is, like, if you guys didn't enjoy this, if this became a fucking drag and you said, Jesus Christ, I got to do this, what the fuck? What would be the point then? What's the point?
You're wasting your time, your energy.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'm telling everybody right now, you think you're going to make money from a book. I hear all these things about make 6 figures from a book. I'm pretty goddamn successful in selling books. I haven't made any money at it. You can't make any money. Every dollar it goes in, I go into my own market. Like here, I got flyers I got to make up. I'm here
that's not fucking cheap at all.
Booth, you got to travel.
Badass
t-shirts. Cons are so expensive.
Shirts, my New Jersey t-shirt. So my first 3 books, Exit Zero, because you always knew the zombie apocalypse was going to begin in New Jersey. So the first book, first 48 hours of the zombie apocalypse as it begins in New Jersey, a group of characters fighting their way down a Garden State Parkway at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. Second book, Nuke Jersey. So New Jersey is sealed off, same core characters. New Jersey sealed off from the rest of the country. The rest of the country is trying to figure out what the hell to do because the zombie virus is coming from New Jersey. And so they've sealed it off, but they're like, well, what do we do? And some people are like, well, wipe it out, nuke it, man. We got to stop this thing. But the president is running the country out of Cape May, out of the Congress Hotel to try to tell the country, look, we've got this under control. Don't worry about it. But the zombie virus is popping up around the country. Third book, Zombie Democracy. The virus has spread nationwide. It is everywhere now. But the government hasn't fallen. Society hasn't fallen. You're going about your life. You got to go out. You got to meet chicks. You got to go to dinner. You got to go to get something to eat at night. But now there's zombies everywhere. And you just, one more thing that could friggin' kill you every day. So you got to live your life. New bureaucracies take place, new technologies. And now it is the first presidential election post-zombie apocalypse. And the country has to decide between 2 candidates, each with their own platform on how to deal with the zombie threat, So that's what my books. So my books, the zombie apocalypse comes, but unlike The Walking Dead, the government doesn't fall, society doesn't fall. There's just thousands and thousands of zombies out there, and they come in hordes. So there's like weather broadcasts. It says, look, there's 7,000 zombies heading towards your town. We know they're coming. We can track them. Go home from work now. Make sure you get enough food, bread, milk, toilet paper, medications to be in your homes for 3 days. Don't try to clear your own yard of zombies. If they do start coming in your house, you contact. There is a zombie removal service from the government. There's an app called a Walker, which you take a picture and swipe right, and the zombie picture is sent to the zombie control, and they come in to pick it up. But there's a deeper conspiracy that's throughout all 3 books and all that kind of stuff. So that's my story of my 3 books. That's why the New Jersey shirt there.
That's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to because we haven't gotten the chance. This was a pretty quick interview that we coordinated here, and we haven't gotten the chance to we haven't gotten the chance to read it yet. But this sounds like a perfect read for the Halloween month coming up here.
It is. And they can find it all at exitzerozombie.com. Exit Zero Zombie spelled out. They can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Exit Zero Zombie, Facebook at Exit Zero Zombie, Gmail, exitzerozombie at gmail.com. I've cornered the market on Exit Zero Zombie. So that's the trilogy. That's the foundation. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Exit Zero Zombie, and then exitzerozombie.com. And then the new one, this one's not even out yet. I couldn't even get you this because it's not out for 2 more weeks. Mm-hmm. This is businessisdead.com. So if they go to either businessisdead.com or fantrepreneurship with a fan in front, not on fantrepreneurship.com, you can order it now.
Nice. I have to ask, on the front of the first of your zombie trilogy, there I saw a quote from Snooki. Is that real?
It is, of course. What?
Oh my!
I didn't even know if it was a throw to New Jersey.
No. So I'll tell you what happened. So the book was coming out, and suddenly I saw Snooki on Talking Dead, and she's talking about what a huge zombie fan she is. So I go, holy shit. So I sent her a copy of the book, and I didn't think, and next thing you know, she tweets out to all her followers, oh my God, I died and gone to zombie heaven. So I email her back. I said, hey, can I use this? You okay there? Do I need to do the Heimlich? Someone's choking there.
I think you surprised Matt.
I know.
The shit out of me.
Yeah. So I emailed her, and she was very sweet. She emailed back, said, sure. And so my publisher quickly killed the first cover, put her on there, and it went out. Yeah, so she's a big zombie fan.
That's fantastic. Wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that.
Yeah, do you see I got Lloyd Kaufman for the third book? You know, nice. That was cool. He's a toxic Avenger.
All the trauma stuff, yeah.
Yeah, trauma, and then, so I'm still looking for some blurbs for this one. I need some celebrity blurbs.
Well, I don't know if we're big enough to make the cover, but we'll give you some either way.
Yeah.
Well, I also need promotion, though. I think it's too late for the cover blurb, but I need promotion. I need you guys to promote.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing I noticed when I was looking at, all the info on your books, speaking of how you took the zombie apocalypse in your own ideas, one of the most controversial things I noticed, if you shoot one of your zombies in the head, do not die. When did you know you were going to go with that kind of idea? Because I mean, it's like everybody wants to go with the standard, 80s or 60s Living Dead, shoot them in the head, they're done.
One thing I did, my real job, because zombies ain't paying the bills, is I work, my focus is chem bio rad nuke, and I've done it for 20 years, and I sell technology to the U.S. military focused on chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. And I get to talk to a lot of very cool people at Defense Production Agency and at DARPA and at World Health Organization and CDC. And I've always been fascinated. So I always talk to them, and all these people love zombie shit. They all obsess. All military guys love zombie stuff. All DHS not DHS, but CDC type people love zombie stuff. So what else was it? Give me your theories. What would be a combination of events or virus or whatever that would create the most realistic, close to a zombie apocalypse scenario? Then I was talking to military guys. I said, so let's just say a real zombie apocalypse is happening. You got civil unrest, you got complex coordinated attacks, you got a cascading environment of disasters. How are you going to handle this? You got civil unrest, you've got mass pandemic, you've got mass casualty, you've got probably a breakdown of electricity and communications. You've got all the black swan things happening at once. What kind of technologies would you put into this? And all that is in the book. One, mine is a virus. There is nothing supernatural about it. In the book, mine, they are not really infected, but addicted. They are like crack addicts. They have become addicted. They cannot control. I explain exactly why the virus was created, what it was meant to do, how it got into the population, how it affects the body, why they look the way they do. And I don't call them zombies, I call them skells, because they've basically absorbed all their body tissue and look skeletal. Okay. And they are addicted to human flesh. They cannot help themselves. They cannot control themselves. There is no ability to reason with them. So I explain exactly how that would happen. Now, it's a virus. Where does a virus exist? In the gut. Virus isn't in your brain. When you have they don't say, oh, I got a brain flu. No, I got a stomach flu. I got a stomach virus. It's in the stomach. That's where a virus exists. So mine, it's in the stomach. So you could take, but now as the virus, and I don't want to give away too much, but as the virus progresses, the brain becomes less and less. The brain basically melts. The stomach takes on the formation of a brain. It forms a brainstem. It forms the
like parasitic,
and it actually, the stomach starts compensating for the lack of the head brain, and it is enough to control you so the body can move and the body can feed, and that's it. So it's not available of complex thought, but it is enough that it can move. And I got that idea actually from a concept from paleontologists. There's a cavity in the brontosaurus between the body and the tail, and it looks like a brain cavity. Now, there's nothing left that they have any idea if that's true, but the theory is that the brontosaurus was so fucking big that the brain could not go from the head all the way to the tail, so that there was a secondary brain developed in this back of the spine, which communicated with the head brain, and then that communicated to the second part of the body.
Kind of like a relay station.
Exactly. And it's a theory. There's no way to prove it, but it's a theory. But I thought, wow, what if that would be evolution. That would be like, this thing is so goddamn big that it evolved a second brain to compensate. Now, what if a human, starts developing a brain? Now, of course, I speeded up the evolution, and it's also, you can take it as well as an allegory. You think with your gut instinct, what is your gut instinct? Well, I'm going to consume, I'm going to buy, I'm just going to go with my gut instinct.
More primal. Yeah,
exactly. And that would be in the brain. So what if the stomach did turn into a brain and led the body? And in that case, how's the only way to kill the zombie? Remove the stomach. So it's cool.
Shotgun to the stomach cavity.
That's cool.
Yeah, but the surest way, because people who survive traumatic brain injury, the surest way is to remove the brain. So the surest way to kill these, you got to cut out the entire stomach. So it's cool because there's the gore. You got to actually physically remove the entire stomach before the zombie starts moving. So
that's a lot tougher.
Yes, yeah, it is. And even there's a scene in the book where one of the things is pretty much gutted, and the brain and the stomach is hanging out, but it's still connected, and the thing is still moving with its entire stomach hanging to the thing because it's still connected. And so that's a pretty gory scene in the book. But that's why you see in the second book, under New Jersey, people have etched in "must gut them," and people are wondering why people are carving that around, and people haven't quite figured it out yet. So anyway,
okay,
I'm giving away too much here. I'm giving away. You got to buy the fucking books. Buy my books.
Absolutely.
All right, one more question because I'm just curious. Does zombie lore exist in the universe?
I don't
previously.
in
your universe, so in your book's universe. Is there zombie lore pre-existing?
Yeah.
Unlike The Walking Dead, where they have no fucking clue what these things are. They're like,
no, of course, no. It's I don't reference The Walking Dead, but yeah, they talk about zombie stuff in there. They they figure out they're like zombies, But even so it's not like a lore where they've a universe where they've never heard of zombies. No, it's every day, but it's okay. So
I
the
like
book
that.
focuses.
I hate when they don't know.
Yeah, no. But in like the beginning of the book, as with regular society, even though it's happening, people don't accept it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
People don't accept that that's what this is, and people are tweeting and texting about zombies and taking pictures, and other people are saying you're out of your fucking mind, dude.
Yeah.
This isn't zombies.
You'll always have a skeptic in that situation.
There's always everybody is, and then other people are like, okay. There's zombies. I'm fucking busy, man. I got to get to work. I got to get to school. I got this. Okay, there's zombies. You know what? I got enough things in my life right now. Someone else is going to deal with it. And even when they do realize it's happening, okay, guess what? I got to deal with other shit, man. I got life to live here. And, and that's what happens. People go on, like we got Al-Qaeda. We've got ISIS. Are you going out and fighting them? No. Are you changing your life? I'm still getting on planes. I'm still traveling. Listen, they're going to kill me, but someone else is dealing with it. I can't deal with it. I got stuff to do, man. I got books to sell.
It just becomes like a live and let the dead live kind of situation.
Yeah, but then the government steps in. The government's got to take care of it. People listen, businesses take care of it. And listen, it's every day. You leave your house, something could kill you. Drunk driver, fallen beam, or whatever.
Zombie.
It's zombie. what are you gonna do?
It's
just one
interesting
more
to
thing, man.
it's just like addressing the monotony of being human. It's like, add another thing that could off this meat sack. Like,
there's got to be something else. There's got to be another virus that's going out. There's got to be another sickness. There's going to be another AIDS. There's got to be another thing that, okay, it's coming. Another thing that's going to kill me if I don't. Yeah, so I'll try.
I think it's very natural, and I think until it infects the small town community that you live in, I think people are oblivious to like things that happen in the big world.
Until it comes,
I think that's interesting to play on that.
Crashing through your living room window.
It's like, oh fuck, there's a zombie.
You're watching it on TV. You're like, okay.
Two ladies gnawing on your fucking calf.
Now this all takes, it seems like it's mostly set in New Jersey.
Yeah.
What was the decision, or where did the decision come from to choose New Jersey as your setting?
Because it's funny. It is New Jersey.
You're saying there's something funny about Jersey, man?
No, I'm from Jersey. I haven't lived there in 30 years, but Jersey is something in your DNA. You can't scrub it off you. Once you're from Jersey,
we're New Yorkers right now.
Jersey is what I knew. I thought it was funny. The original way I had written the book was each chapter was an exit, and they were moving from exit down to exit 0, which was the final extraction point. New Jersey's now been sealed off at the end of the first book, and Cape May is the last chance to get out of the state, and so everybody's trying to get down to Cape May, and I wanted to make a chapter, but it just didn't work because I had to be moving around, and I said, shit, that format didn't work of each chapter being a different exit, so then it came out. But I have very funny chapter names. I've been very proud of my chapter names. I'm not gonna. You have to buy the book, but I have very funny chapter. I hope the chapter names are exciting and enticing.
I'm sure they are, along with the plot that you've described so far. It's super intriguing just in terms of how different it is. Especially as a fan, myself and Matt, we're both zombie fans. So to see someone take a different take on the whole thing, it's really cool.
Especially when you can like log on to like Netflix and see the same old zombie film over and over again, or even like just the comics. There's a lot of comics that aren't even recognized, but a lot of zombie comics like came out as soon as Walking Dead got success.
It never gets old, because what is it? It's the fear. It's the fear that everybody fears. It's fear of death. There's nothing sexy about zombies. There's no romanticizing them. It's death. And that's what zombies are, death. And it's coming for all of us, man. It's everybody's fear. And you can avoid it a little bit. You can avoid it. You can do certain things to last a little longer, but eventually it's gonna. No one, like Jim Morris, I forget, no one here gets out alive. We ain't getting out of here alive. So that's what zombies. That's why there's the never-ending war. But it's also the ultimate fear of what are zombies? They look just like us. They're your wife, your kids, your neighbors. They're killing you. They're not some clown. They're not some guy in a mask. It's the known that's going to kill you. So, and also, you can put into a million allegories into zombies. In my books, there's an allegory. I'll let people decide for themselves what it means. But obviously, there's a underlayer. All 3 books, the whole arc, it has a different. You could read it as a fun zombie story. It's got a whole different arc in there, and the whole story is an allegory. And some people have figured it out. Some people had written in reviews say there's a political undercurrent in this, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like, cool, some people are getting it.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's why I like about it.
Well, it's always cool to see, because horror, if it's done well, always seems to reflect the fears of the time. And like Psycho, being like the whole road stop off the side with the interstates connecting everywhere, and you never know what the stranger is going to do to you. Moving on to more modern of like who is coming for you. You don't know. It's a supposed horde. And what were the
50s? And what were the 50s? The 50s was all nuclear. Remember the giant ants, giant grasshoppers, giant things.
Godzilla.
It was all because we developed nuclear, and they all became afraid of it. And then I think it was the ants thing, but that was all nuclear. And then in the 60s, it became aliens. In the 70s, it was the political tinge came into all the horror movies.
And the B slasher type stuff too. It got way more violent in the 70s.
Yes. Yeah. So to think that it is leading to people to do something, it is actually an outtake. It is or an outlet. I mean, it is not something that is going to lead people to violence. No. Horror
it's a reflection on the current fears of the time, I guess.
Exactly. And that's where it's an easy scapegoat, but it's just ridiculous.
It's like these violent movies. It's like, well, we wouldn't have them if reality wasn't so violent. You know?
What it is, everyone. I'm Jacob Meza, the host of the podcast So It Is Told. Each week I read a new folk tale or fairy tale with a local comedian and or world traveler. Like your drunk grandma reading a bedtime story, there's suspense.
Oh my god, they are cannibals!
Magic. And all-around madness.
They're birthing hips!
Available on any mainstream podcast directory. Fresh.
This episode is brought to you in part by hemp-cbd.com.
Hemp-CBD was founded in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the mission to provide the best products in the industry. Hemp-CBD has created a one-stop shop for tons of CBD products, such as tinctures, edibles, topicals, pre-rolls, vape, and pet products.
The products carried by Hemp-CBD are sourced from an organic hemp that's grown in the United States, lab tested, and consists of CBD isolate, which is the purest form of CBD. This testing ensures that their products contain CBD and no other cannabinoids like THC.
Head over to hemp-cbd.com and use promo code SLACKER for a 20% discount at checkout.
That's hemp-cbd.com. Promo code SLACKER.
Okay, one of the things I'm tied into in the new book, what's the big word now? Gig economy. Have you guys heard the term gig economy? That's what I've been hearing a lot. And that's what's facing millennials.
People taking Uber jobs and all the different app positions that are more of like either a contract position.
Exactly. And they're moving. They don't want to be tied down. Like I have been with my company 20 years, well, almost 20 years. That's rare.
Wow.
And before that, I was with a firm for 9 years. I'm an older guy. So, but that's not what people want to do today. They don't want to be tied to one company and base their whole life on it. Now, I was lucky. I actually enjoy my job. I found it I'm what they call an intrapreneur. I'm very entrepreneurial within the confines of the company. I've always enjoyed it. So there's no sense in moving around. And, hey, if you like what you do, and do it. Right. But I've met so many people that they don't have a set company, a set career, a set goal of I'm going to do this and then this and then this. They move around and they want to be free. And in a gig economy, they may work 2 or 3 jobs, and those jobs may last 6 months, they may last a year. They move on. They move around the country. They have total autonomy and freedom. And that's one of the things I touched into in my book. When you have this fantrepreneur, you're creating your market. There may not be a market for fandom of insert television show here. You know, I just finished watching Good Omens. I don't know if you saw that Neil Gaiman's
I haven't checked it out yet. I've heard great things though.
Oh my God, it's so freaking good. But if you become a fan of Good Omens, now I haven't met too many people that know it. I just finished watching it last night and I said, man, that was great. I loved it. If I wanted to create something about that, what am I going to do? Well, maybe I could do tours. One thing I looked up, I liked the locations they filmed it in. So I went online and I looked up the towns. If I lived there, I might want to start doing tours. I'm going to start a Good Omens tour and then give tours of fans of the book of the locations where they film it. Yeah. Or maybe I'm going to create cosplay outfits. The characters are seen. They're an angel and a demon, and they're there from the Garden of Eden and you see them through the Black Plague, and you see them through Roman times, and they become good friends, and they've got these cool outfits throughout history. If I was could create, I would create those outfits and sell them to other fans of the show. The one guy, he's the demon. He's got serpent eyes, so he always wears different sunglasses. He's got very cool sunglasses. I would build a line of sunglasses, Good Omen sunglasses. You know,
Nice.
You could do anything and create a market for it. And that's kind of the gig economy of fandom.
In the book, do you go into I assume there's some legalities in terms of what you can like use with intellectual property, stuff that's owned by these companies, and you as an artist producing something independently. Is there, without I guess giving too much away, is there anything you can go into with that?
Yeah, and I go into, in the beginning of the book, I'm like, look, this is not a book about how to run your business. I'm not going to get into the legal structure. I'm not going to get into your financials or your how to incorporate. I said there's 40,000 books on entrepreneurship. Buy any one of them. They're all boring. I said my book is really about starting, your fandom and moving from that, oh, I wanted to do this and I'm afraid, and my coworkers, will they think less of me if I baking cakes based on Twilight series and everything? No. So it's all about how to do that, how to work, making sure your family's on board, because trust me, your family, if they're not on board, this is not something you're going to do 1 hour a week. No, this is going to become a big thing. But there is a ton of that stuff. And I address that in the book about, especially like when you're tying yourself to a particular genre, like let's just say I'm a fan of this actor. And I'm such a huge fan of him, and I've tied my wheel, or I strapped myself to him, and I'm swimming in his wake. I'm swimming in the wake of someone else's creative efforts, and then that guy fucks up. That guy sends out a late night ambient fueled tweet that just made fucking pariah.
Like, Jeff Goldblum, why'd you do it?
Roseanne.
Yeah,
Roseanne
and
effect.
you built your whole fantrepreneurship around that character or that show. What the fuck do you do now? That could happen. You are basing, but listen, you're hitching your wagon. I didn't think of the term. You're hitching your wagon to someone else's creativity. So that's a possibility, man. Or what do you do when that show goes off the air, or that person, that super looked after show, like everybody, it's much watched TV, becomes a joke. No one watches anymore. It sucks. And you built your whole business on fandom of that show. Absolutely, man. That could happen. Look at what you guys are doing. Both of you guys are vaping here.
Yeah.
What have you heard?
Way to call us out first off, bro.
Well, I thought you guys are on camera here.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
They can't see us when you're talking, guy. So they have no clue.
I
just gave away the secrets behind the
it's not
scenes.
the first time we've been called out.
And I've seen you doing crack deals too when I'm talking here and all that stuff. And Jesus,
what
is that Jeffrey Epstein behind you? Jeffrey Epstein. So he's not really dead. Jesus Christ, guys.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? He's outing all the secrets, dude. Epstein's been chilling in my crib for 2 weeks. Nobody knew.
Okay, so but anyway, like let's just say I started a vape shop. And then what has been on the TV 24/7? Now I'm local, so I don't know if it's around you. Is
Ban vapes?
You vape. It is
killer.
going to coat your lungs with toxic sarin gas, and you are going to be dead within a week. And you're going to be, oh my god, it is the worst fucking thing. It is. You're worse than Hitler if you vape now. Oh my god. Well, holy shit!
Guess I'll go back to cigarettes.
In 3 weeks ago. That started, and now it's everywhere 24/7.
Yep.
So what the hell do you do if that's your business? You never know when the tides are going to turn. Now there's obviously something. You know who may be behind that? Big tobacco. If I'm a tobacco, listen, I gotta crush this fucking vaping shit. So I'm gonna release that. Like I heard a good theory. Like they were talking about Antonio Brown, and if he's gonna play this Sunday.
Right.
And that's a tough call because right now it is an accusation. Okay. Let's just say I'm a pretty big gambler. I'm running heavy deals here, and I got to make sure Team XYZ loses this Sunday. And so I'm going to put some money. I'm going to get someone out there. I'm going to pay them to make an accusation against their key player. That person's taken out. Well, that accusation's being evaluated. I can now bet on that game. Wow. Again, this is big dollars. So I'm not saying anything about Antonio Brown or the accusation, but I'm saying That's why they can't make a decision like, an accusation's been made. You can't just, an accusation can be made about anybody. An accusation, and you always got to say, an accusation now about vaping, who's behind it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, wow, there's serious health concerns? Or did someone just, from the competitor, the tobacco company, just dump a ton of money into this to get that word out there? But that's kind of like fantrepreneurship. You're covering a television show or a celebrity or a comic book, and suddenly something turns against it. That author has an accusation against them. That illustrator, that star has a serious accusation against them. Remember what happened to Chris Hardwick? They took him off the air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They took him off the air for a minute.
It wasn't longer than a minute. It was like 6 months. And then at the whole thing, he was cleared. But man, that will always be an asterisk next to his name. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And but if you were running the Chris Hardwick Fantrepreneurship program, that was a tough time for you because you're swimming in his way. But anyway.
And then what do you do? Do you double down in like the hopes that the person isn't like actually doing whatever they're accused of? Or do you put a temporary hiatus until things are smoothed out, or just not even address it? There's no easy way to address that kind of.
Got no advice, man. But that's a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, who draws the line of what's right and what's wrong when it comes to comedy? And that's a weird question in itself. That's really big right now.
Well, it's about comedy. It's about art. It's about everything.
Yeah. It's a weird line though. Like there's people that you see that try to do edgy things. I mean, I've gone to a few, minor shows where people are starting out, and sometimes they go across the line there, where it's like people cringe, and it's like who the fuck says that? Who the fuck draws that line, and who tells who?
You can feel it in the room. I would say, like from a personal standpoint, like if I make a joke and someone is offended by it in any way, for me, sorries are free. It's easy enough for me to go, oh, sorry. I meant to make you laugh. My bad. But that's pretty much the extent of it,
Listen, creativity is trial and error.
Yeah, absolutely.
All creativity is trial and error. And if we're going to you're going to have the offenders out there and waiting and fucking pray for you to say one goddamn thing that I can take out of contact and I can dream, and that's it. Burn them at the stake.
Cancel.
And that's what it's becoming. And that's why I think, dude. Exactly. And that's one of the things, but in being a fantrepreneur, you're going to start out and you're going to start. And I was talking earlier to a bunch of people like at this show I'm at, these are people that are more creating their own. They're creating their own. They're fans of illustration, they're fans of graphic novels, and they're creating their own. So they're not going out there and saying, I'm a fan of this show and I'm going to create. They're trying to create their own thing. And listen, if you're worried that someone's going to be offended, you're going to stifle yourself and you're going to self-censor and you can't do that. And then you're not going to be creative.
And you'll find out. I mean, the squeaky wheel always seems to get the grease in terms of like who's the loudest and complains the loudest, but that might not be the majority. So it's also seems like put stuff out there. See, and if one or two people seem to be flipping shit over it, then and like 500 people seem to be enjoying it, then clearly the numbers kind of speak for themselves in that case.
Yeah. Listen, you can't please everyone.
I mean, shit, look at Game of Thrones with their latest season, how everybody wanted the fucking petition to rewrite it. I mean, that's fucking cinematic that's the top of the line with cinematic fucking value there. And I mean, people are still like, fuck you, rewrite this, delete that,
how it
delete
ended,
it off
so make it so that I like it or something. No, listen, if that's their vision, that's how it ends. Like I wrote in one of my characters in the book dies. And I swear to God, I almost fucking teared up when I wrote the thing. And I wrote it originally. I wrote two versions of it. One where it was nebulous and he didn't know if he got away or died. And the other, he's absolutely dead. And I sent both and everybody said, you got to go when he dies. It has to be pure. And I literally was choked up. Because I would love that character and he's fucking dead. How he dies in the book. But listen, some people are probably not going to like it. Hopefully no one will kidnap me and break my ankles and all that kind of stuff. Goes into misery, but for killing it.
Maybe at Sopranos Con. Or,
Yes. Yeah.
So you're going to be at a number of conventions coming up towards the end of the year. It looked like. Is there places that people can catch you that you'd want to?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I got a couple things coming up. I will be at in October, the second week of October, I'll be at New Jersey Horror Con if you're in New Jersey area. So you can see me exhibiting at New Jersey Horror Con, Atlantic City. The weekend after that, I'll be in Atlanta at Walker Stalker Con. So that's the big Walking Dead con.
Cool.
Nice.
So that's the big one in Atlanta. Then I'll be back up in Jersey in November for Sopranos Con. And in 2 weeks, I'll be at the Living Dead weekend in Pennsylvania. That's where they filmed the original Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Yes, the Living Dead weekend. Yeah,
that's so cool.
In Monroeville, Pennsylvania. I'll be there. That's the end of September, the last weekend of September. And then 2 weeks into October, I'll be at New Jersey Horror Con. The weekend after that, I'll be at Walker Stalker Con. And then in November, I'll be at Sopranos Con. And then I got a couple others. But follow me at Exit Zero Zombie on Twitter and Instagram, or exitzerozombie.com is for the buy the books. And then at Business is Dead for the new book, and then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm always updating where I'm going to be.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks again, Neil, for coming on. We're really looking forward to reading your books, checking them out. And it's really good to see this unique view in general, man. I'm really fucking stoked about it. We wish you nothing but success.
Thank you. And you guys too. And like you said, man, it's tough doing the, you're fighting for your share of the ear, and you got to keep at it, man. It takes some time. But this, you guys do it good.
Well, thank you.
The Slacker army is growing ever so much.
Slackers, go out and buy Business is Dead. There we go.
There you go.
Business is Dead. Available October 1st. Get it, people. It's out right now. By the time this comes out, it is out. Fucking buy the book. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We love each and every one of you. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
We're smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're slacking America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. Or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
Give me a minute. Think about the seconds that are passing. Man, I gotta go and get it, grab it. Why you gotta go and act savage? Smoking weed, I gotta feed the habit. Now I'm on some other shit. Things that I gotta go get. Medical all on my slip. You falling like dominoes, bitch. Stuck in my ways, fucking high days, fucking sideways in the driveway. We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're slacking America. We're slacking America.